what would you say are some of the plans to help achieve this greater alignment of kind of function structures, systems, and different areas of operation?
The plan is basically to engage with non-program staff and see beyond the PQI and beyond the country office program team what can be done to fully support the implementation of the program approach across our country offices. And therefore, one step that we have planned is to have 4 country assessments by the end of September, and we have already achieved 3 of them with multidisciplinary teams to better understand, and Laura Runenberg, who is here, can talk about it. She has been involved in Nepal, Mali, Bangladesh, and Peru in September, and try to identify what among care organizational systems, processes, and procedures, what needs to be changed in a way that would better support the implementation of the program approach. And I think that will be that will really boost our capacity, our programmatic capacity in the field, if we can change or tweak the systems that we have in a way that fully aligns with the implementation of the program approach. And in October the 20th and the 21st, we will have a quite big meeting here in Atlanta with over 60 people, 60 participants. We will have the DRD's program quality, the DRD's program support, and then each division will be highly represented, as well as a couple of PI members, to agree on those areas, 3 or 4 priorities in terms of the organizational changes that have to take place in order to facilitate the implementation of the program approach. And the ENT has already committed its full support in terms of sponsoring the implementation of those action points that will come out from this meeting.
Great. Okay. Well, I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you, Jean-Michel. One of the ways that Ubora assesses program quality is through the PQAT, which Jean-Michel referred to. The PQAT is the Program Quality Assessment Tool, not to be mistaken with the kumquat, which some country offices call it, lovingly. And as Jean-Michel said, there have been 150 PQATs submitted just from fiscal year 10, and it was optional. So I think that does show that a lot of country offices are finding this tool to be quite useful. Right now, the PQAT assesses program quality against the program characteristics. So it's a series of questions against these 8 areas. Actually, I think that's split 1 into 2. Yeah. That country offices apply this tool to throughout the year, and there's 2 sections of the tool. One that's applied to the design phase. So when a program's being designed, the tool helps guide the design process to make sure that it's being designed in a way that's in line with these characteristics. And then there's an implementation section where once the program's up and running, staff can go back to that program and kind of sit down once a year and assess the progress of that program and the quality of the program. And I was in Nepal. A few months ago, and went through a PQAT application with the staff there. And I just wanted to show you a brief excerpt of the discussion that took place around the area of empowerment.
Activity, livelihood part, livelihood empowerment. I think most of the, the participants are women. I mean, in SCGs, most of them are women, and in advocacy center, there is another part, There also most of the, the participants are women, and children also, and there are few men as well, but maybe 90%, more than 90% is women.
Maybe you can also shed light on the strategy for the savings and credit and all these income generation activities is the steps but I think we need to go further elaborate, further deeper on the how this initiatives is in bringing change in the lives of men and women, how they've been able to use the benefits out of this project. So those analysis, I think we need to discuss about it. How our strategies are deliberately targeting for women to benefit and influence these processes. We also need to have a deeper analysis about the women empowerment. And women empowerment will not happen only working with women. I think that's the key. I think we need to think like women empowerment will happen that when women work with others also. So for women empowerment, critical engagement of men is very important for advancing women's rights. So we need to have a strategy to work with men also.
Not being harsh or anything, this is a something between 2 and 3 maybe. And I'm more on the lower end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this?
No, my thought is already clear. 3, I would say.
Yeah.
I also said 3. Please don't blame me. But
She said 2 or 3, and she's maybe on the lower end.
Oh,
So she's maybe 2.
2.
Yeah.
see, maybe 2, yeah. 2.5.
You can think it happens. How about 2.2?
I mean, what they are doing, yeah, it's satisfactory, but not enough.
I think here we are not questioning the
No.
project team's effort. We are also the member of the team. So it's we are trying to interact and how we can improve the things and what we are doing, reflecting on our work and to improve the things. So we are not questioning here anyone's effort. We are also
What
saying
strategy we have?
it's a responsibility of all of us.
But whatever we have discussed today, it's very important, and I think through this we can make ourselves, we can look back, what we have done, what are our, gaps.
No, the part of reflection, because we seldom do self-reflection or project reflection, and this really facilitated that even today. And so if it's a continuous process, then I think this will really bring out a lot of learnings and ways forward.
Great.
I think it also created a linkage between project and program aspect. Because most of the time when we are implementing project, we will be so concentrated in our project only, and we don't really think about the strategy or vision or mission of the particular organization, how it's really contributing in that part of the intersection. So I think it was a good brainstorming session as well.
Yeah.
One more thing I would like to add is this tool, in a very non-threatening way, allows us to raise critical questions also. Critically look at the performance of the project. So this environment that this tool creates is good for us.
This is Fatimata. She's the Women's Empowerment Coordinator for the Women's Empowerment Program in Karamali. And Karamali has really applied the Pequot to all of their programs and all of their projects twice a year. And they come up with this incredible, spider diagrams of results and use it for their planning for the following year, and have this really amazing process that I have fully documented if anyone's interested in seeing that. But I think that both the quotes from the Nepal staff and from Karamali really emphasize that it's both a reflective process that staff go through, as well as actual information that the tool generates that's really useful. And I think that's where the common understanding is being built about what a program is and what the program approach is you're bringing together project staff, program support staff, partners, and they're all discussing this tool and building a common language in the meantime. So that's the Pequot. Yeah. So here's just some of the results briefly from FY10. The numbers, as we mentioned already, submitted. Some of the most common strengths that we found organization-wide were identifying an impact goal and an impact population, conducting holistic analysis, and promoting empowerment. And the most common areas for improvement were promoting accountability, measurement and learning processes, and leveraging resources. And so this is just kind of a scan across all of the Pequots submitted. Those are the most common strengths and the most common areas for improvement. And then what we've done is actually, you can do an analysis of each individual program that's been submitted, each individual country office, or of a specific theme. So right now I'm working with the GED team, with Stuart Bartell, the gender advisor, and Allison Burden, to take a look at kind of the GED perspective on the Pequot, and to survey all of the Pequots and draw out the analysis about key themes that they're looking at from a GED perspective. And they're finding that information really useful and rich for their ongoing work. And then if you hit the next slide. Also, Louise looked more in-depth at specific country offices. So one of the key areas for improvement that was identified was around measurement and learning. We looked at 2 country offices who had strengths in those areas and said, why are they strong in this area, whereas others seem to really be struggling. And we found that in Tanzania, they have a program called the Women's Empowerment in Zanzibar. And what they have an M&E system that focuses on transparency and information sharing in really creative ways, including involving the media, to have radio broadcast to the general public about the progress of the project. They have these stakeholder meetings every year where they bring in, everyone, donors, community members, people that they're working with, government representatives, to really evaluate the project. So these ways that they're involving people and being transparent and sharing information about what's going on is what they see as central to their success in their M&E system. And Malawi, actually, likewise, they have a community scorecard that's really innovative. It's won a bunch of awards in the country and actually in the region. And they've trained staff and government institutions, civil society members, peer NGOs on this scorecard. And what they do is they bring together the kind of key service providers, whether it's a government institution or a water company, and then the users in this kind of scorecard discussion group in the community. And they have this whole toolkit they've designed that's online about how to apply this scorecard. And this is an area that a lot of country offices are struggling with. How do you promote accountability through your M&E system? Accountability was another area that was, needing improvement. And here Malawi has this incredibly well-documented process, including the tools and case studies online and available for others to use. So what we're trying to do is surface some of these good practices so that they can be shared more broadly with others who are looking for improvement in these areas. We have stories going a little bit more in depth on these 2 country offices in the magazine, including the link to the community scorecard toolkit. So as you can see, there's a lot of rich information emerging from the Pequots. And even more so this year, as more and more country offices are going to be using it. This year, all country offices, every new program being designed will be applying the Pequot, so that'll hit almost all of our country offices will be applying it. And I encourage those of you, there's a lot of information that's emerging that's relevant to many of our work here. And there's a sign-up sheet in the back on the little shelf over there next to the phone. If you're interested in kind of getting an orientation on the Pequot, learning about how you can use some of the information for analysis, learning about the tool itself, please do sign up, and I'd be happy to arrange some meetings with you all. And I think now we're going to turn to fundraising and expenses. Jeff.